From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew. Greetings, my friends and amigos. Hello from Blind Android Users and AccessibleAndroid.com. It's episode 216, and we're recording today on January 25, 2025. I'm Warren Carr, located here in the state of Washington.
I'm John, here in the state of Virginia.
Karin in Lebanon.
And this is Sally from Samsung, Turkey.
And that's my handsome brother there from another mother.
Yeah.
All right, Sally.
Obviously.
Right. I know the two are jealous, but that's okay. Can't help it. Coming up in this episode, we have announcements, followed by the Android basics, the spotlight, and we have an app of the week to close out the episode. John, let's start with you, my man. Are you out of the freezer yet, or it's still a little freezing?
Today it's back up in the 40s, but we got down to like the teens this week, and we got some snow. It was actually like legit snow this time. You know, it's stuck. It closed down all the schools and everything. So, my son's been home for the last 3 days out of school.
You know, kids love that. I know my kids used to love that. They still do. I don't know what the thing is with school that kids want to stay home. I remember when I was a youngster, and I used to love it when I didn't have to go to school, or, most especially, and then mom is home as well. I love that. It's a beautiful thing to be home. So I don't blame them.
I was the same way. I mean, home wasn't great. I just hated school. So,
I love school, but I loved it when we were home. But it's one of those things. And then quickly, I want to go back to school. That's how it was with me. Sally, are you the type that wanted to stay home and just be a baby boy? What's up with you?
Well, at least these days it's that way because it's raining on and off. Like it's 41 degrees. And like in other words, it's 5 degrees. It's pretty cold and rainy. So all I do is staying home, having my cup of tea with me, and just chilling. And that's all about it these days. It's getting even colder. And how are you?
I'm doing good. You should be getting that squeeze, bro. It's kind of way overdue. And February is coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, I need to hurry up.
I'm doing well. Actually, today we have sunshine. I can see sunshine out there. So we have a change, and looking forward to going out with my wife later on today after the edit is done, and probably eat something out there. So looking forward to it. We saved the last one, the most beautiful one, for last. Karin girl, tell me something good. What's going on with you?
I'm doing well. Everything is well here. Actually, we have cold weather, but not like you guys. It's like in degrees Celsius, it's about 12, 13, something like that. So, but yeah, it's considered cold. Actually, we had slight rain, but not much. We are expecting some rain this week. So we're just expecting rain. But, you guys were talking about school. Actually, the worst thing for me was when we were expecting snow, and we were like living the mood of no school. Then we woke up in the morning to see
and
that
no snow.
all the snow that was there was snow in the night, but everything had melted. So that was
just a little
worst
dusting.
experience.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Don't you hear the dusting? I always say, if all you're going to do is give me a little dusting, you might as well not come down. stay the hell up. Oh my goodness. So I totally understand where you're coming from. That's good. How about the fruit stuff? Have we been eating fruits, Karen?
Oranges and oranges and oranges.
Well, good.
Only.
At least you're eating some fruit. So that's beautiful. And now, the announcement segment. This is a segment dedicated to things we want you to be in the know. And now for this week's episode, here's your announcements. Let's turn on to announcements, and I'm so excited. Guys, for a while now, maybe it's been like about a month or thereabouts, that you've not been hearing the voice of my belly acher, Ed. So what's been going on is that Ed's wife was not feeling too great, and so it was good for him to be there and helping her out and all of that. But I'm excited to announce that Katie's feeling better, and God willing, Ed is going to be with us next week. But then the most important thing is that yesterday was Katie's birthday. So how about we take a little time and tell her to hold it down at 29 by singing a little bit of a happy birthday song. Sally, you want to start happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katie. Happy birthday to you. Hold it down, girl, at 29, and we love you, and get better. Looking forward to you doing more cooking for the belly acher. That's it. Guys, anything you want to say?
Is this 29 like the 29 that happens every year because you never want to turn 30? Or is this actually 29?
Well,
That's
smart. I'm not going to say.
I guess the question is, how long has she been turning 29?
Yeah.
That's the real question. But
exactly. But women want women want to keep it at 29, right? I believe that
it would be rude to it.
I believe that Ashley is keeping it at 29 too.
She's 42.
Okay, well, just make sure she's not listening to this episode. So you'll be in a doghouse. Karen, are we holding it down at 29?
Well, to be honest, it's good to stay at 29 for us girls. I'll be honest about it. But for me, actually, I don't mind saying my age because I'm a person who's like logical. So if I don't state my age, it won't change. So for this reason, from my side, it's okay, completely okay to be above 29. Although I hope that I stayed at 29, but that didn't happen.
Well, because here's the thing with women. At 16, they want to tell you they're 32. And then when they're past that, then they want to tell you they're 29. They want to keep it down at 29. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I really don't care. I keep them down at 29, shall we? I love it.
No,
it's actually,
when we are at 16, we want to tell people that you are 18, and then we'll stay at 18 for about 5 years, and then we will feel like, okay, we are mature now. We should say that we are 20. And then we'll stay at 20 for about 5 years. Then we will go up until 29, and we'll stop at 29.
Beautiful. We also want to let people know that next week will be our listeners section. In other words, if you're a listener of Blind Android Users Podcast, we just want you to come in next week. We're going to have a good old party together. As we've indicated, we could be doing this just about every month. So next week, February 1st, is going to be that first one for this year, and it's at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Help me translate that to your local time. I know the UK time would be 5 p.m. And Sally, that's like 7 p.m. your time in the Turkey area?
Exactly. It's for GMT plus 3. It's going to be 8 p.m.
Okay. So GMT plus 3, and then GMT plus 2 is, what time is that? Is that 7 p.m.?
Exactly. For the Europe Standard Time, it's gonna be 6, and for Indian time, it's gonna be 10:30.
10:30. There
Yeah.
we go. That's what we got. Karin, anything going on that we need to know about?
Yeah, this announcement is specifically to our Jisho users who are waiting for some sort of discount to purchase a subscription. Right now, it's the New Year, Chinese New Year. So this is the annual time for the offers. And what the offer is now, if you get 1 year, you will be having actually 13 months, 2 years, 26 months, and 3 years you will be getting 39 months. So for each year you purchase, you get 1 additional month. I think it's a good offer for people who are willing to purchase a subscription. So yeah, it will be from, it's now actually active, it's live from 25 January until 28th of January at 23:59. So actually, when 29 starts, the offer ends. Actually, the timing is in Chinese.
Yeah.
So you should just either convert it to Chinese, your time to Chinese, or just don't wait until the last moment and benefit from the offer before the 28th.
So just hurry up, guys, because I did it last year and I bought it for 3 years and I bought it like 39 months. That was a good deal. So I have my license active until 2028.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that confused screen reader, of course, you know, the time is also confused. The thing is that just go out and get it. Don't wait till, I'm going to wait till 11:59. It would be like maybe 4:55 a.m. there. So you never can tell. So go ahead and get it if you're interested in getting one of those. And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. Let's now move on to the Android Basics. And today, of course, we have some stuff to talk about. It's chock full with Android 16 Beta 1 dropping. And we know that people have been wanting to enroll for that. So if you've been holding and waiting to enroll for Android 16 Beta 1, this is your chance to enroll in it. You simply go to the website. We'll put it on our show notes, and you just tap on the enroll and then choose the device you want to enroll for. It will show the devices that qualify for the enrollment. Just select the device you want, and you'll get an OTA enrollment. Also, we had Android 15 QPR2 Beta 3 that also dropped last week. So it's kind of been a very busy week. Good thing I was glad that Google didn't rain on Samsung's party on Wednesday. They held off dropping off the Android Beta 16 Beta 1 till Thursday. So that was good. I didn't want them raining on Samsung's party. And so it was good of them to do that. Let's look at some of the things, though, that I'm not going to be reading everything about it, but just the highlights, just basically some of the items. Some of these things are things that were already there or were semblances of it in Android 15, but not really matured and then showed up in the DP1 and DP2 of Android 16. So these are some of the items that we're going to be finding. So we got live updates. So it's kind of like a dynamic thing, notifications. That's what we have. We also have what is called APV, which is the Advanced Professional Video Codec that Google is doing. And so if you like those type of things, you know, we have that. Next, we have the improved adaptive refresh rate. I know it's been there, but it's kind of improved. So if you've been wanting things of this nature, we have a better adaptive rate. Enhanced haptics. Of course, you know, we've had that. We talked about it here. It's even gotten better. So one of the things that got introduced or, you know, improved with the beta. Then we have the 2-finger double tap zoom. So John, people like you, I know you like to do the accessibility to, magnifying things and all of that. So if you're in magnifying land, for example, and you could set it up and use a double tap with 2 fingers to magnify things, I think that's a good idea. Makes it easier. So you magnify when you want to magnify. John, what do you say about that? I think it's a good idea, no?
I will have to try it out and let you know my thoughts, because I didn't realize that was something, and I've been happy with the triple tap, but I know having triple tap enabled slows down talkback a little bit, because every time you double tap, it's waiting a split second to see is this a double tap or a triple tap. So I know that having triple tap to magnify enabled does slow down talkback, but I mean, it's barely noticeable, but it does slow it down. So maybe if there is another option for magnification, that would be cool, because I could disable the triple tap.
Yeah. So when you have time, play with it and let us know, next week when we talk about the party and all of that. Then we have number 6, we have the improved support for physical keyboard, people that like keyboard related stuff, that's been improved. And also this support for the HIT devices that we talked about, most especially those of us who are blind, that is going to be rolling out here pretty soon. And so looking forward to that. And then, of course, there was that fingerprint unlock with the screen off that we talked about earlier. Unfortunately, though, I think this is only on the Pixel 9. And my guess is because the Pixel 9 is using the Ultra fingerprint reader as to the optic ones.
Yeah,
ultrasonic. Yeah, ultrasonic. That's right.
Because the optical uses the light from the screen to see, for lack of a better word, to see your finger. So the ultrasonic just uses vibration so it can work with the screen off.
I like that one.
But that being said, Samsung does have this option on their devices with an optical. So I mean, it's a convenient excuse, but it's not impossible. They could have made it so that the screen knows when it's touched in that area to light up that area, but they haven't done that.
Yeah, and I hope that they do, they trickle it down. Google is good about trickling down things, but usually they want to keep it for the newest device for maybe like a month or 2 or whatever, and then before they push it out. And I'm hoping that they do, because, both the 6, 7, and 8 series could stand to use something like this. And of course, then we have new emojis for those that like emojis. Sally, you're an emoji guy, right? You like to send those emojis to the pretty ones.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
I do like emojis.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness. So tell me, what do you really like about emojis, Sally? I'm kind of trying to figure out what it is that people like about these emojis. Maybe I'm just an old school guy,
I really don't know what to say, but like when texting with people, like sometimes you express your thoughts with emojis. Like sometimes you're so frustrated, sometimes you're just rolling on the floor laughing, and all you need to send is like an emoji.
Yeah.
If you're not able to.
It's cuter than typing out, "I'm so embarrassed."
Yeah.
Just send a flushed face emoji.
You boys.
Or sometimes you want to send a pile of poo, just it deserves it.
Oh boy.
Exactly. There is no text equivalent for that.
Yeah. What can I say?
You could type pile of poo, but that would be weird.
No, they won't be the same.
Oh gosh. But who wants to see a picture of poo?
With some situations, they deserve it.
It is cute. It has a cute little face on it.
Oh gosh, that is nasty. So you see why I don't like it.
Definitely, like there are some situations they really make you upset, and all you need to do is just send a pile of poo.
I love it. I remember one time, I think I mistakenly sent something to my wife. I was practicing my is it emojis or is it whatever, and something TWF or whatever. she showed it to her principal. She said, "Look at what my husband said."
You know, even the Google Dialer on Pixel phones that have audio emojis, they have a poop audio emoji. So, you know, if you want to hear, you know, a fart sound, there it is.
Oh boy! I mean, I have tears in my eyes. It's unbelievable. Sending someone, you know, a picture of poop. Come on, guys. So I guess it's better than saying the BS word, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, moving on. We got the Google Keep is now a system app. So if you get a device that comes out straight with Android 16, you're going to have Google Keep in there
Well,
as a system app, so you don't have to, you know, install that.
I think this is a great addition. Like as a someone who likes taking notes pretty often, a default note-taking app on a phone is something really good. So you don't need to go and install from the Play Store. It's just coming pre-installed. I think other manufacturers going to follow that, which the phone's coming with Android 16 and
Does it even
beyond.
does it even work good? Like, I haven't tried it in a while because it was giving me such issues like a year or two ago. Have they
Well,
fixed those issues?
Currently, I'm using the Simple Notes app from Automatic, but Google Keep should be like coming pre-installed on like Google phones at least.
That's what I was going to say, John. You know, if you're going to be giving us Google Keep Notes as the system default note-taking app, it better work right, because I haven't tried it, but you know, you try to delete words if you're a blind user, it doesn't tell you the characters you're deleting. That thing's been broken since summer of was it 2022 or 2023?
Yeah.
It's somewhere back in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
we can expect this because Google Messages is the default messaging app, and it's not great. I mean, it doesn't have actions. You can't tell what date messages were sent on. You know, when you're trying to like multiple select things in your conversations, like it puts the focus at the top. Like it's not a great experience.
That selection toolbar is really pissing me off. I mean,
well, you just put an emoji of a pile of poop on there.
yeah,
Sally.
exactly that. Exactly.
Oh boy. Number 9, the Wi-Fi QR code redesign. That's another one that's been redesigned a little bit. I mean, looking more beautiful. Number 10, reorganized settings. So, you know, Google keeps tinkering around with the settings. I mean, just about all of them, you know, do that. But I think the one that has been more consistent is Samsung, guys. They are more consistent. You know, Google keep changing these things, but now you have a separation, you know, better separation of where the search is, and then the focus is on your account when you go into that settings, system settings. So one of those little improvements in there. So something to take note of. 11, we talk about automatic app resizing for large screen, you know, devices. So for those of you who have tablets, this is going to be a heaven for you. Johnny used to have you still have your Google tablet, or you got rid of it?
I got rid of it. I have a Samsung tablet, but this also applies to the fold devices if you have a fold, because those screens are pretty large and they're kind of awkward shaped. they're squarish, so I think they're trying to use this to encourage developers to, I mean, they've been trying this for years, but encourage them to adapt their apps to different screen sizes by saying, you know, if you don't do it, we'll do it for you, and it might look ugly.
That's right. So it's a good thing to see that. Then we have the photo picker, which is primarily aimed at developers, and several noteworthy features for improvements and all of that were introduced. So, you know, the photo picker, we talked about that earlier on, but, you know, developers could further tweak that and make things work with their apps and all of that. So if you're a developer, you want to look into that. Next up, we have the Health Connect and Fast Healthcare interoperability resources. We've talked about a little bit on that, and so that's another thing that got improved with this improvement or new beta of Android 16. Of course, we've talked about notification cooldown. That includes some of those new changes, and there's more improvement in that as well. So something to look forward to. Audio sharing is another one. That's item number 15, audio sharing. We've talked about that a little bit. It's gotten a little bit more improved in this. I haven't tried it to see if I could share it with my other Bluetooth devices. But you know what? I think what I'm looking forward to, or what I want to see, guys, is that app separation in Samsung that we have, where I could play something. I don't want my TalkBack on. I think Google has it backward, isn't it? The sound could stay on your on your phone, and then the TalkBack will go to your device or something stupid like that. I think I saw that a while ago, but I think that is turning it backward. John, you have anything to say about this feature? You think it's a great thing? I think it is.
The Oracast stuff, yeah, it's nice. It doesn't help us as TalkBack users, I don't think, in any way.
Yeah. But the one I want them to do what Samsung does. I just want to have my TalkBack on my phone while I'm jamming away somewhere.
I'm not holding my breath for that.
So is it the same as the dual audio thing that Samsung has, which is the ability to broadcast to two Bluetooth devices at the same time?
It's different in that this uses Bluetooth LE, so you have to have a Bluetooth LE device, and then it's an unlimited number of devices. So you can have, it's like setting up a little radio station where anybody who's within Bluetooth range who has a compatible device could connect to your device if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be connected. I mean, you don't need to have your Bluetooth earphones or speakers connected to use it. It's different than how Samsung does it.
Yeah, it's different than the Samsung's dual audio feature. Samsung also does this type of thing with Oracast, but that's a separate feature.
At 16, that is number 16, we have privacy and security enhancements. Google keep picking these things and making things better. It's just a matter of time. Then at 17, we got the predictive back navigation. So, this wasn't very good for those that like to use the 3-button navigation. Now, you could observe that going back where you're looking at something, if you're using the 3-button navigation. Sally, are you a gesture navigator, or you like your traditional 3-button?
Oh, I love gestures better.
Me too. How about you, Karen?
I also use gesture navigation since maybe 2 years or 1 year. Actually, I was late, but then when I started using it because of John, to be honest, John is the one who convinced me to start using gesture navigation. Then I didn't look back since I started using it.
Well, to me, it feels like when the buttons are turned on, it's like covering the huge part of the screen, even though it's only the button part of the screen. It still looks so big to me. I don't know why, so I always turn them off.
Yeah, and I like when I get to the end of an app, I like it to loop around rather than go down to the like if I'm swiping through items, I don't like it jumping down to the navigation controls.
So the good part is you can do the back gestures from anywhere.
Yeah. So, Karen, I think you owe John a box of oranges for convincing you to use the gesture navigation. Unless, of course, John just says, nah, you might as well just keep it.
Of course, if he likes oranges. If he doesn't, then I'll give him strawberries because I like strawberries.
Sure, I'll take oranges.
Oh, boy. Well, thanks for being so gracious about it. at 18, we're looking at a redesigned UI, so we got new changes in UI a little bit. Some of these things, are visual centric things that may not matter to you and I, but it's a good thing. Now, at 19, we're looking at the advanced protection mode. And this mode, when turned on, will block side loading and 2G connectivity, among others. This is going to be something that you have to turn on manually if you want to. So it's intended for people who kind of feel like they're kind of someone is trying to get to their device or whatever. And it's just a huge protection to anti-hacking stuff. And so this guy wrote extensively about it, Mishall Rahman. I'm going to put the URL to it so you can read more about that, because I think maybe there are some people that would like something like that. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily worried about, something like that, but it's there if that's what you're looking forward to. And, that would be some of the things that you will find there in that Android 16 beta. John, did you update yours yet, or you're still on the fence?
Yeah, I updated it. I didn't want to do the developer preview stuff, to be honest, mostly because I didn't want to have to deal with the PC. But
yeah,
I just want to get the OTA. But yeah, now that the beta's out, and I could just, it's as easy as hitting a button on a website and then checking for updates. So it's installed now. First thing I did was went and I turned that fingerprint sensor with screen off. I turned that on, and that's about it. I haven't done anything else with it yet.
Yeah, that's good. But that's what that Android 16 beta has. And of course, we've mentioned Android 15 QPR 2 beta 3, and we'll put it in the show notes if you want to see some of those changes, because this is going a little bit lengthy. Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight. Let's now go on to our Spotlight. And of course, we're spotlighting on that big boy. I'm talking about Sam boy standing in the room waiting. Samsung dropped all that S25-series devices upon us. John and Sally and Karen, to some degree, you guys are the buffs when it comes to the Samsung thing. So how about you take us down this memory lane and what's going on here? And John, you probably have it waiting under your bed. Maybe it's not quite there. Tell us about these things, guys.
Sure. So, well, I'll just give the details, and then we can give our opinions. So they all three now have the new Snapdragon chip, the Elite, and then as far as the base model goes, so I'll say right out of the gate, the prices did not raise, at least in the US. They're the same prices as last year, so that's good, because there were rumors that they were going to raise the prices. But the base model, the S25, it now, in some regions, comes in 512, a 512 variant that's not available in the US for whatever reason. But the more important thing, I think, on that phone is that they've raised the memory from 8 to 12. So now you get 12 gigabytes of memory across the line, no matter which phone you get. Even the Ultra only has 12 gigabytes. So, yeah. And then there's the Plus. I'm going to say nothing really has changed in the Plus model, except the chip. It has this same cameras. Just the base model also has the same cameras as before. And then there's the Ultra, also has the new chip. They have slightly improved one of the cameras. I think it has, the ultra wide is now 50 megapixels instead of 12 megapixels. and they've improved the glass on it. It's a newer type of Gorilla Glass that's supposed to be better. And I think so, yeah, and it's confirmed that they've downgraded the S Pen. So it's no longer Bluetooth. It's just kind of a dumb stylus. So if you used any features like using the S Pen to take a picture with the button, or using air gestures or air actions, I think they call them, to perform tasks on your phone, that's not going to be able to be done on the S25 Ultra anymore. So yeah, and the prices, they start at 800 for the base model, 1,000 for the Plus model, and then the Ultra is 1,300, and those are US prices.
Yeah, so that's it's good to stay the same though. And now talking about the stylus, if I were Samsung, I'd probably just get rid of the damn thing. But really, I mean, so the air gestures or air actions or whatever that people were liking earlier on, I'm not sure if that's going to be such a big, deal breaker. Well, when you use a pen, you want to write with a pen on paper. You got to have the pen touching the paper, right? So I don't know. Frankly, maybe because I don't use it, I don't see it as a big deal breaker. But I know some people kind of, the very menial things that people kind of get attached to, and then kind of becomes a big deal breaker for them. So, but if you're using that and you're used to that, then it's something you have to get used to doing it in a different way. And another thing, though, that I think probably is good is that the edges are now more rounded than, I know some people used to say, oh, the edges are too sharp. I never found them to be too sharp, but anyway, they're more rounded corners now, if that's what you wanted. Samsung has done that. And I think another thing that I like that Samsung has done, and I wish every Android manufacturer would do that, is that battery health and also how many cycles one has charged it for. This would help if we make it mandatory for people to put that information when they're selling used device, so you know whether I should get this or not. And then that will help also in determining the price of it. Because if someone has charged their phones for 300 times already, gone through 300 cycles or 400 cycles, I'm not sure I'm going to buy that phone. What say you guys? I think that's a good idea to see that, not only telling you the battery health, how much percentage of the milliamp has remained, but how many cycles have been charged. I really like that. I think it's a
whenever
great
I
idea.
sell Ashley's phone, her iPhone, when she upgrades, I always put that information in the listing. And, even if it's not great, like even if it's down to, like, I think the last one I sold, it was down to 84%. But, she had the phone for 3 years, so that's really not bad. And, a lot of people.
No, that's very excellent. That's
if
so. It sounds like she's like me. I don't charge my phone all the time. So frankly, if I were to sell my phone, I mean, like I'm looking at my Pixel 9, John. I probably charge my Pixel 9 like twice a week at the most, or sometimes maybe 3 if I do that much. So frankly, I would like, information like that, and let people know, the battery health and all that cycle. So no, with your wife having it for 3 years and at 84%, that's a very good phone. I'll pay top dollar for that.
Also, I'll just quickly mention pre-order deals. I'm sure they're different in different regions, but in the US, they're offering they're not offering a free upgrade necessarily, but they're letting you put some of your credit towards it. So I'll try to explain. So if you get the base model S25, they'll give you $100 that you can use towards accessories. But if you choose to upgrade to the 256 gigabyte version, which is $60 more, they'll knock $50 off that price and then let you use the other $50 on accessories. So you'd only be paying $10 more for that. And then same with the Plus, except you get $150 towards accessories if you order the Plus model. And then if you choose to upgrade the storage on that one, from 256 to 512. It would normally cost you $120, but they're letting you use $100 of your credit towards that, so you only pay $20 more for the upgrade, and then you have $50 towards the accessories. And then it's a little different on the Ultra. On the Ultra, you do get the free upgrade if you pre-order. So you get the 512 for the price of the 256, or you get the 1 terabyte for the price of the 512. So that will save you money there. But then depending on which model you choose, you'll get a different amount of credit to spend on accessories. So it's $150 if you get the 256 model. You get $130 to spend if you get the 512 model, and then you have $110 to spend if you get the 1 terabyte model.
Another thing that you mentioned earlier, John, has to do with that memories. Samsung's been very stingy when it comes to, memory and all of that. And I'm glad to see them bumping it up to at least 12 gigs. But word on the street is that certain areas or regions, like you said earlier, with the base model, some regions have up to 512 gigs of storage. In the same manner, the memory, the RAM in some certain regions, you have up to 16 gigs. So Samsung should have just done that, especially for the Ultra, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's Samsung.
I think I know why it's not available in the US, because they know that at least 90% of people in the US get their phones from carriers, and the carriers do not offer the higher end models. Like, they're just going to give you the cheap model with low storage and low memory, because it's supposedly on them, right? So I think they just know this type of stuff doesn't sell well in the US. Although there are people that would buy it, but I think they're few and far between.
I totally agree. I think that totally makes sense because, most people get their phones free, right? Or, basically for nothing, little thing out of a pocket and for a time being and all of that. So if you're going to be telling people, hey, you need to put $200 down, a lot of people are not going to buy that. So I can see that totally makes sense to me. And so it makes sense to keep things simple. And like we said, I think all this craze about, specs is all about those of us who are in the know, the Android enthusiasts that tend to go for things of that nature. The average Joe there doesn't really care. They just want a damn phone, isn't it? So I see how that makes sense. And if I were a carrier, I think I'll do the same thing. It doesn't make sense to be dumping money on something that people are not going to want to pay more for. So I agree with that.
Let me give my opinion in general. Actually, I think that the whole event was about AI. So they were just talking about the AI improvements, the AI additions. Now Gemini is everywhere. Gemini is gonna be replacing the Bixby, sort of, which is good.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Bixby is gone in Greyhound.
No, it's not actually.
No,
it's still on the
Bixby's
phone,
still
but
there.
yeah, it's not the default assistant.
Yeah, so that's good. I want it to be gone in Greyhound.
This is what I like about their approach. Now, obviously, I haven't used it, but it seems like Bixby will still do all the on-device stuff that Gemini is bad at. But then, if you just ask it a general question that you actually want an AI answer to, then it will go get Gemini for that sort of thing. So if that's how it ends up working out, I'm gonna love it, because it would actually be both. It would be Bixby and Gemini.
Yeah, it's good actually, but I think that eventually they're going to replace Bixby completely with Gemini, but it's just an assumption. Anyway, so the thing is also they are giving people 6 months of Gemini Advanced for free, and the Gemini stuff, the things related to camera and to the multimodal capabilities, which is able to deal with more complicated commands. It's able also to check the things that you are using. Like if you are on a YouTube video and you use Gemini and you're trying to have a conversation, it will be able to know what you are doing, and you can just talk about this thing that you are dealing with which is great. Eventually, all of this will be coming to other phones as well. But, the thing of exclusive and the thing of promoting things and marketing stuff. So this is the whole thing. Actually, nothing important regarding specs other than the upgrade of the processor. Okay, the 8 Elite is good. It's a jump forward, but nothing else. And they're playing it so safe to the point that they are not even increasing the charging speed. They are not increasing the battery size. Other companies are just going better with all of this, but Samsung is just staying calm. If it ain't broken, then don't fix it, which is not really good for the future, because they can't rely on AI always. There should be something in the hardware that they should talk about, which is currently not available. So this is really a problem for the future, I think. I don't know how much they will, or for how long they will keep doing this, but it's not really good.
Yeah,
Samsung
because
used to
they've been doing it. This isn't their first year doing this. Like, they did the same thing last year and possibly even the year before, where like the hardware upgrades were very minor. If any at all, especially when it comes to like charging speeds and cameras and stuff. I mean, even the Ultra got what some people considered a downgrade in its cameras last year. Going from the 23 Ultra to the 24 Ultra, the 10x zoom they replaced with a 5x zoom. I mean, it was a higher megapixel count, and they claimed it was better, but some people consider that a downgrade. So I mean, this has been a trend for at least 2, if not 3 years, and they can't just keep doing this forever.
Exactly. You know what's the problem that they are not realizing? It is the AI fatigue. People are starting to become tired of AI. AI was, okay, that thing, the magic word that you could put everywhere and it would give you the sales that you want. But now, no, it's not like that. It's just becoming less and less interesting to people. So I think that they aren't able to continue AI everywhere. Right? Like it's already over. It's already going so far, actually. But the most important thing, which I really don't like about the Unpacked event, and actually I voiced my concerns and my frustration yesterday in my AI article, is how they dealt with TalkBack, with accessibility. It's good to have something in the announcement regarding accessibility, but in this way, it's really not good. So what they did, they announced that Gemini image descriptions is coming. The Gemini description is coming to Samsung S25 first, and then it will come to other Samsung devices. Now, they didn't give further details, so we don't know even if they will come to other devices like the A series, where there is no AI, offline AI actually. Are they going to deprive people of having the image description, the online image description? Are they going to give them this description? No one knows. But giving this feature exclusively to Samsung S25 after 3 months of having the feature in the Google's TalkBack is not the way to go. This is the first thing. The second thing is that Braille HID support. So people were waiting and waiting and waiting, and now Samsung will be the first one to include the HID support also on the S25 first, and then the other Android 15 devices, whether they are Samsung or non-Samsung phones. So it will come eventually to other Android 15 devices, but again, wait and wait and wait. So this is not good. This is a marketing strategy that shouldn't be there. They shouldn't do this, and they are just dealing with people like we're stupid or something, because okay, we all know that Gemini description is there in Google TalkBack everywhere, maybe since Android 11. I don't know if previous Android versions are supported, but since Android 11 people have this, and now they come and say, hey, we are going to include Gemini descriptions. Okay, offline descriptions is good, but at least they should have been giving people the online descriptions since more than 3 months. So all of this is nonsense. All of this is not the way to go. And all of this is not innovation in any way. So I didn't like this, and I hope that they will not continue like that. That they will really show us something innovative in the future about accessibility, not delay all of the features until the new device is released, and then say, hey, we have this and that and that. And actually, Google is the one also to be blamed here, because there is, in fact, a deal between Google and Samsung, and this deal is not actually giving people any advantage. It's just marketing and like agreements and deals. And yes, the media will come and say, hey, look what Samsung has done. Look what Google has done. And then the reality will be something different. But, media will just cover and the reality will go away.
Karen, there's some very important items that you mentioned or issues that you mentioned here. And I want to start with that, all that AI thing. And the reason why Google, for example, has 16 gigs and all of that. The idea is that certain amount of that memory is dedicated to AI. And Samsung, you're only giving 12 gigs of RAM. Really, so when you look at it and the ones that are dedicated to AI, then you're really maybe getting like 6 or 7 gigs of free RAM that is dedicated to the system when you check out the one that's dedicated to the AI. So in reality, they should have bumped that thing up to 16, and thus you have at least 12 gigs of free RAM for the system and all of that. Another thing, though, that you mentioned, which is very important, is that battery. Everybody's improving in battery, and I don't know why Samsung has kept to this puny 5,000 milliamp battery. I mean, Xiaomi and OnePlus is eating their food right out of their hand. It's not good. And I know they're kind of trying to play it safe, probably because of what happened back during the Note 7 fiasco and all of that. But gosh, I mean, that's a long time ago. We've long gone past that. And I think Samsung should be giving us more battery. We talked about battery versus performance a little while ago, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think battery is important. If I'm going to be enjoying my phone, I need that battery in there. I don't want to be running to the charger every now and then. I want to at least maybe charge my phone a couple times a week or whatever. If I have like that OnePlus that you have, John, I think I'll be very good with that phone.
Here's the thing. I mean, I was watching the Unpacked from start till the end, and all about AI was kind of frustrating. I mean, I was expecting them to talk more about the phones, like the specs themselves, but it was all about AI. Even they talked about S25H, the slim version. They only showed like a prototype, and they didn't talk much about that phone. It was all about AI. How can you do certain things, taking pictures, editing audios, and all that stuff. But that wasn't quite exciting. I was expecting something bigger, like at least a bigger battery, as you guys said. The chip is pretty decent indeed. But like, as you said, Xiaomi, OnePlus, even Honor, Vivo, they are doing great in terms of battery. They are doing their best to compete with those flagship makers. But all about AI, and that didn't impress me, because with my S23, I can use them all, and there is no reason for me to switch, even though it's 2 generations, the 24 and now it's 25. So I'm still sticking with my S23 for now and see what happens next year. I'm even more excited for the A series, because they will be announced in probably end of March or early April. I think they will be talking more about the specs that time, not only AI, because those phones won't be powered with AI on device. So let's see what they will come up with.
You mentioned that Galaxy S25 Slim, which now they're renaming to Galaxy S25 Edge, and I think they probably didn't want to talk about much about the specs of the S25 series, because it seems to me like the Edge is probably going to be the focus. It's going to be their big thing, and that's why they probably teased that, and it's going to be something to focus on.
I don't even understand the point of it. Honestly, it's like it only has 2 cameras. It's, I mean, I guess I get the point of it. It's slim, but what are you giving up to have a slim phone? The battery. I feel like even if they go with like the silicon carbon battery, and do the dual cell stacked thing that OnePlus did, like with that slim, like it's not gonna have the same amount of battery as like the plus version of the S25. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's intriguing. It might be like a cool device to hold, but would I want to use it? Probably not.
I think though probably they're kind of being reminiscent about. Remember last time we saw the Galaxy Edge? What was it? Was it with the 7 series? I don't recall that we had one in the 8. Does anyone remember? I know we had the regular 8, the Plus.
I think
and
the 7 was
the 7 was the last one.
But
with
this
the 8.
wasn't this when they were first like curving the displays, and it curved on one side, and that's why it was called the Edge.
Yeah. So it started with no, I think there was one that I think before the 7 there was another Edge. I think the 6.
I'm saying the 7 was the last one.
Yeah, the 7 was the last one. So it's been a while. That was back in almost 10 years ago, back in 2016. Is that when we saw the Galaxy S7? I want to say that was 2016. So frankly, they're kind of thinking about, hey, we need something back.
I think they're hoping that everyone has forgotten about the Edge because they want to use the name again, and the phones have nothing in common with each other.
Yeah.
So back in the days, I was reading a research about the phone usage in South Korea, especially the teenagers and the ladies below 30 in South Korea. They were going for Apple devices. So just to change this, I think Samsung did this slim phone. So just the girls holding that, they will feel better. Let's see what happens there. I mean, still, it's not going to change anything.
And don't forget something, that Apple is going to produce also a slim device.
Yeah.
So Samsung is doing this it's just doing this for, okay, Apple is doing this and we are going to do this also. So the same copying that's happening all the time, some trend, and then Apple starts the trend, and then the other companies, especially Samsung, like does the same. So that's it. Nothing else, actually.
Well, that's crazy because whatever Apple does, they are copying it. Like they remove the charging brick and now they don't have it. And whatever Apple does, they are trying to copy it. So that slim phone is going to be another version of how to copy Apple. But the competition is so high. Maybe another player is going to come into the field, and maybe that's going to be even more exciting for the compact and slim phones. I'm sure the Chinese guy's going to be doing it way better than those both.
Oh, guys, give Samsung a little break. Well, what can I say? They're kind of, if the trend is going this way, you don't want to be left off that trend. You want to catch up and all aboard. So we need to be part of that party. So I can see where they're coming from. But, so I happen to be, you guys know where I stand. I don't care about slim phones. Just give me a good battery, okay? I know Karen loves them slim boys. Karen, you love them slim boys?
Yes, I do. Actually, seriously,
I don't care.
I like the phone to be as slim as possible. Yeah, I don't want to lose the battery. Like, I don't want it to be like 2,000 milliamp hours battery. But I like it to be slim. Like my phone, I don't like how thick it is. Although it's not very thick, it's not very thick, but it's sort of not my style of phones. So yeah, personally, if I'm in the market for an S25 phone, I'll wait for the slim and get it.
Do you use a case on your phone screen?
Of course not.
Okay, yeah, that's wise. Because I use a case, so slimness doesn't really matter to me. Like I wish I could not use a case, but
Well,
it's impossible to type for me on the Braille keyboard without a case because there's no bezels on these phones anymore, and my palms like touch the edge of the phone and it messes everything up. So I have to have it in a case. If I didn't have to have it in a case, I probably would be like slimmer is better,
Well, exactly. I'm using a compact phone. The S23 is a small phone, but still I'm using with a case just for the Braille keyboard.
For me, it doesn't matter what it is. Baby jumps out of the box and jumps into a case and a tempered glass. I like keeping my phones in a pristine condition. I don't even want to see fingerprints on my damn phone. So there's no way under heaven you're going to see me running with that thing naked. Put on some shirt, shall we? I can see where you guys are coming from, but definitely. And John, I think you mentioned something there very important, most especially if one is using or wanting to take advantage of that virtual Braille keyboard. It does help with, defining borders, with respect to your fingers.
Yeah.
So it really makes sense.
For and I'm just talking about screen away mode when you're actually holding the phone. I guess if you're using tabletop mode, it wouldn't matter so much because you're not holding the phone on the sides.
Yeah, you're not touching the screen.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but touching the case is different than touching the phone itself. Like, I will not talk about the thickness that it adds, which is something that I hate, but even touching it, well, you get this phone, like this glass back, or also people who care about the design, and then you put this case. So I don't like this. Actually, I'm the person who also doesn't put a screen protector. So I hate all of this stuff. I think it's better to keep it as it is.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. I don't use the screen protector because I want my fingerprint sensor to work. And I wouldn't use a case if it weren't for the Braille keyboard. That's literally the only reason I use it. I wish I could get away with not using a case.
So, Karen girl, in other words, you want people to see how pretty your phone looks like. See, I don't give a rat about that. I don't want anyone seeing how beautiful my phone looks. No.
It's nobody's business
no.
what your phone looks like.
Exactly.
You're a private kind of guy.
Wait. I don't care if people see my phone as beautiful or not. I even once I got the black model when everyone was why did you get the black model when I wasn't able to find the other colors? So it's not the thing of like I want people to see, oh, look what I have. It's I was talking about like you seeing the design. If you are sighted person, you are seeing this design, and this is the point. You are seeing what you have, and if you are a blind person, you are touching the actual phone, which is something that you're doing for yourself. So it's not actually about people and about how. In fact, I'm the person who is always like, people look at me and say, what? Aren't you putting a case? How could you do that? So people will just not look at the phone. They will just be surprised by what I'm doing. So the thing is just, it's your phone. It's that touch. It's that thing that you paid for. So keep it as it is.
Yeah. I guess for me, it'll always be tempered glass and case, no matter what. I'm not even going to set up my device without it. So when I order a brand new phone, that same day I order a case and a tempered glass. And reason why, if you look at my old phones, they look like the day they came out.
I've actually already got my case. I'm not paranoid like you, but I actually have already got my case for my S25 Ultra just because Amazon shipped it so fast. Yeah,
exactly.
It's ready. I'll probably at least want to hold the device for a little while. But like I said, when I get to using it and needing to type with the Braille keyboard, then I'll definitely have it in a case. But I ordered a MagSafe case, which reminds me, I should probably mention these phones are now, I guess it's a very minor upgrade, but they're now Qi 2 ready, which, to be clear, it does not mean they're Qi 2, but they will work with the Qi 2 charger if you have a magnetic case on them. So whether it be a MagSafe case or a case that says G2 compatible, it basically, if the case has magnets, this will now work with a G2 charger and should charge at 25 watts wirelessly.
Not too bad, but why don't they just outright do that thing and make it, what it is instead of this nonsense and this fine language of G2 ready?
Yeah.
Come on, give me
I
a
don't know.
break.
Everybody's stupid out.
Yeah.
HMD is made one phone that was G2 compatible, and that's literally the only Android phone out of all these manufacturers that's done
It's a shame. It's a shame. Or G2 ready. Come on, man. Just do the thing and call it good. Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week. Moving along now, we move to the last item on our plate, and that's the last item for this episode. And today we're talking about an App of the Week, and that will be in the way of the Perplexity Assistant. Here's the demo of Perplexity Assistant. Hi, Warren here for Blind Android Users Podcast, and for episode 216 App of the Week, this is demonstrating Perplexity Assistant. Back in episode 165, I demonstrated the Perplexity, that's Perplexity search engine, and today we have the Perplexity Assistant. In other words, it's akin to the likes of Gemini, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, etc., etc. I'll be demonstrating this on my Galaxy S23 Plus running Android 14 and with TalkBack 15.x. I am on the Play Store page of Perplexity, and now I'll navigate my way to the About. Let's hear about the description of the app, and then I'll come back to the installation page and we'll proceed from here. Let's now navigate to the About.
About this app. Heading: Google Play Store. Perplexity Ask Anything. Details: the most powerful answer engine powered by AI. Perplexity, where knowledge begins. The answers you need right at your fingertips. Cut through the clutter and get straight to credible, up-to-date answers. This free app syncs across devices and leverages the power of AI like OpenAI's GPT-4 and Anthropic's Claude 2. Your smarter way to know and understand. Features: Perplexity Copilot, guided AI search for deeper exploration. Ask with voice or text, instant up-to-date answers whether you type or say it. Thread follow-up, keep the conversation going for a deeper understanding. Trust built-in, cited sources for every answer. Discover, learn new things from the community. Your library, more than search history, it's a curation of your discoveries. Download Perplexity now and continue your journey to better knowledge and understanding. App Info. Version 2.38.0. Updated on January 20, 2025. Downloads: 5 million plus downloads. Download size: 26.07 megabytes. Required OS: Android 8.0 and up. In-app purchases: $4.99 minus $199.99 per item. Offered by Perplexity AI. Released on May 24, 2023.
And that's both the description of the app and the history of the app. I'll now navigate my way back to the installation page, tap on that install, and let's get started.
Play Store. About this app. Head. Can. Install. Button. Verify. Navigate up. Button. Perplexity Ask Anything. 0%. 1%. 3%. 70%. 100%. Installing. Checking for updates for where. Open. Button.
I'm done with the installation and now sitting on the Open button. I'll tap here to get started.
Perplexity. Paywall background. Image.
The first thing we heard was Perplexity paywall image. In other words, of course, there's some payments here if you're not going to be keeping yourself tied down to the free version. If you want the pro version and all of that, or expert modes, whatever the case may be, I don't know what it's all about, but you got the drift. You'll have to pay the piper. So for now, though, we're going to be using the free version. And moving down.
Perplexity icon. Google logo. Continue with Google.
In other words, so you're going to choose how to log in, whether you're going to sign with Google or
Continue with email.
there's also continue with email.
Continue with SSO.
There's SSO. I have no clue what that is. Help me if you know what that is.
Privacy policy.
The privacy policy
Terms of service.
and terms of service. That's what we have here on the screen. I'm going to tap on continue with email.
Continue with email. Navigate up button. Button.
Tapping on continue with email, we're now sitting on the navigate. That is to navigate to the top. That will take me back. Of course, I'm going to go down, find that edit field, and put in my email address. I'll pause, and I'll be right back after I inputted all that I needed to do.
Navigate up button.
There we go. I just got an email, and in that email that they sent as a confirmation, it has both a link that you could tap on to activate, or it has a code that you can put it in manually. I just tapped on the link and I am signed in. I am now on the top left corner, and that's a navigate button. That's to navigate back to where I was prior. And then to the right corner, we got
Restore.
the restore. Moving down,
Monthly. Dollar. 19.99. Billed
moving
monthly.
down,
Yearly. Dollar. 199.99. Save
Moving down.
$39.89. Subscribe.
you could subscribe.
The subscription will automatically renew unless it is canceled at least 24 hours before the end of the current period. The user's account will be charged for renewal within 24 hours prior to the end of the current period. The user can manage subscriptions and turn off auto-renewal by going to their account settings after purchase. Any unused portion of a free trial period, if offered, will be forfeited when the user purchases a subscription. Edit box.
All right.
Unlock the most powerful. Research Assistant. List. Selected check icon. New features preview. Over 300 Pro search uses daily. Voice mode. Unlabeled. Detected icon close. Text X.
I just hit the back button, and we're sitting on that close button, which is found to the right edge of the phone, in the middle of the phone. Let's though go ahead and start looking at the top part of the screen and see what we have. Starting from the top left corner, we have
Settings. Button.
moving right.
Perplexity. Image.
We hear the name of the app, and moving right.
Invite. Button.
We have the invite button. Those are the only two buttons we have there. The settings on the top left corner and the invite on the top right corner. Moving down though, there's a little logo there.
Perplexity logo. Image.
And below that,
Where knowledge begins. Introducing Perplexity Assistant. Supercharge your daily tasks and get answers anywhere. Unlabeled. Detected icon close. Text X.
that was that close button that I talked about earlier on, that was highlighted in the middle of the phone there on the right edge of the phone. Moving down,
Library sign up. Image.
we hear something called library sign up image. In other words, if I tap here though, it's going to show me some things that I could look into. Let's just tap on this for giggles.
Close sheet.
Play me the final song from the movie Interstellar.
I'm going to
Help
go
me
back.
book the best Japanese restaurant.
Settings. Button.
So in other words, it's just showing you examples of things you can do with it. That is just a multi-app support. In other words, you could tell it to play songs and it'll open up an app on your phone to play that song and things like that. And that's some of the stuff that it does. Let's move on and see what else we find.
Ask anything.
Now, toward the bottom, we hear Ask Anything. And that's basically letting us know we could ask anything. Now, below that Ask Anything, on the left edge of the phone, we have
File search button.
And then to the right edge of the phone,
Alternative search button.
we have the alternative search. We still have some tabs at the bottom of the phone. Moving on down,
Selected tab icon.
it simply says selected app icon. So there's a little bit of accessibility issues here as you're not really knowing what it is, but I kind of think this is like the main home area. And then to the right of that,
Not selected tab icon.
and to the right of that,
Not selected tab icon.
and the last one.
Not selected tab icon.
Since I'm doing this on my Galaxy S23, I'm not getting the description as it should be. If I were doing this on my Pixel device, we probably have a clue whereby TalkBack would be doing the heavy lifting. I'm going to invoke the TalkBack description and see if we have one, but unfortunately, I don't think we do have that in the Samsung TalkBack version that I have. I'll just go ahead and try and see what happens.
TalkBack menu. Read from next item in list. Describe image in list. Cannot describe image.
All right, so I'll just go ahead though and try my best and do what I think I can do. Let's start though with the one on the bottom left, which I believe is already home, and that's the one that's selected. But let's go ahead and tap on the one that is next to it. That's the one next to the selected one.
Not selected tab icon. Allow Perplexity to send you notifications. Allow button.
So this one has to do with things that I could be notified about. And you guys know me, I'm notorious for not liking notifications. So I'm going to go to
Don't allow.
Don't
button.
Allow.
Perplexity. Selected tab icon.
Now I'll put my finger in the middle of the phone to see if there's any information of importance.
Result image. AI developed drugs coming soon. AI is transforming drug discovery by significantly accelerating development timelines, reducing costs, and improving success rates in clinical trials. Breakthroughs like DeepMind's AlphaFold 3 and collaborations involving companies such as Isomorphic Labs and In Silico Medicine highlight the
Interesting. I just double tap to, or rather tap with 2 fingers to stop the reading. So what I'm thinking is that this is like maybe like what is the current thing from today. And so it just shows me what today's highlight is. That's just my guess. I'll tap on the next tab. So that will be the 3rd tab.
Not selected tab icon.
Tapping on that, I'm going to put my finger near the top.
Upload your documents and Perplexity will answer detailed questions.
So this will be like the file import, whereupon I could just choose a file and work with it in Perplexity. Below that,
Set AI instructions.
moving down,
Convert complex material into easy to understand formats like FAQs or briefing docs. Share your space. Add resources to a space and share it to create a group knowledge base. Create a space.
and toward the bottom on the right, just above those tabs, there's that start a thread and all of that.
Start thread. Button out of list.
So let's now go to the 4th icon, and that will be the last icon on the bottom right.
Not selected tab icon.
Tapping on that tab, I'm putting my finger near the top.
Drugs to revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry with promising results.
So this seems to be like your history. So that last tab there, the 4th tab, seems to be the history. It shows the things that I've tapped on earlier. I'm going to go back. Now let's go ahead though and tap on that settings that found on the top left corner of the phone.
Library sign up. Settings. Button. Navigate up button. Button.
Tapping on settings, we're now sitting on that navigate to top. Let's move on down from here.
Upgrade to the latest AI models in. Boost your pro search uses.
Next.
Learn more. Account. Username. Email. Workare at send. Incognito mode. Create anonymous threads that don't appear in your library and expire after 24 hours.
That explains what it is.
Notifications. Daily threads from Discover.
So you could see daily threads if you allow the notifications.
AI data retention. AI data retention allows Perplexity to use your searches to improve AI models. Turn this setting off if you wish to exclude your data from this process. Clear history.
We have the clear history. In other words, if I tap here, it's going to clear some of the things that I've tapped on. Moving on.
Log out. Delete account. Help Center. Get started. What is Pro Search? Help and FAQ. Profile. AI language. Automatic detect input. Speech recognition. System language. Voice style. Mic. Voice mode. Push to talk. Appearance. Theme. System default. About. Privacy policy. Terms of service. Assistant.
We now come to the Assistant heading, and below that,
Capabilities.
in other words, if we want to see the capabilities of the Assistant, we could tap here. I hope I'm not wrong. Let's go ahead and tap here and see what it does.
Search and play media. Simply describe the song or video you want and let the assistant find and play it. Play me the final song from Interstellar.
I'm going to go back.
Navigate up button.
Now, below that we have
Enable assistant.
Enable Assistant. So if I tap here, I'm almost positive it's going to take me to the Assistant area, and I could choose Perplexity Assistant as my default. Let's go ahead and try that.
Capabilities. Enable assistant. Digital assistant app. Navigate up button.
We're now in the Digital Assistant app. In other words, let's choose the one that we want as our default.
Select which app to use when you swipe inward from one of the bottom corners of the screen. Digital assistant apps can help you by gathering information from the screen currently shown on your phone. 1 of 5.
And moving down,
Digital assistant app. Google. 2 of 5.
Google is my current one, so if I tap here to go choose Perplexity.
Default digital assistant app. Navigate up button out of list. Not selected. Radio button. Firefox. 5 of 10. Selected. Radio button. Google. Not selected. Radio button. Perplexity. 7 of 10.
I'm going to choose Perplexity.
The assistant will be able to read information about apps in use on your system, including information visible on your screen or accessible within the apps. Cancel. Button out of list.
And to the right.
OK. Button.
OK.
Default digital assistant app. Selected. Radio button. Perplexity. 7 of 10 in list 10 items.
And now I'm going to go back.
Digital assistant app. Digital assistant app. Perplexity.
I'll
2
go
of
back
5
again.
in list 5. Perplexity. Enable assistant. Out of list.
Now let's move on down.
How to access.
We have the how to access. If you want to know how to invoke it, you go tap on this and find how to invoke it. Going down.
Permissions.
Permissions, of course, we want to allow it to have access to the microphone and all of that. But believing, though, that we've made it the default, I'm almost positive that is already there by default. But I'll go in here anyhow to be sure it is.
Allow permissions.
We're now in the allowed.
Tap to learn more about the assistant capabilities that require permissions. Microphone. To use the voice feature, please allow. Contacts. Allows referring to your contact. Phone. For making phone calls. SMS. Allows you to send SMS messages from the location. Helpful answers based on your location. Read notifications. Allows the assistant to read your notifications.
And those are the ones that I see in the allowed, and they're already checked by default.
Navigate up button. Button.
Now let's go down. And the last item
Assistant language.
is the assistant language. You could go in here and set it to your own language. I believe it supports like 15 different languages. Languages like French, German, Hindi, Japanese, English, etc. I'll now go back.
Not select pouting cat. Why do cats hate water?
Now, let's give it a quick test before we bring this to a close. I'm going to tap on that Ask Anything that's found toward the bottom above those tabs.
Ask any. Navigate up button.
Tapping on Ask Anything pops up my keyboard.
Edit box.
For some reason, it appears to be crashing on my Galaxy S23 Plus. In other words, TalkBack is not talking. I tried this earlier on my Pixel 4 a little while ago, and there was no problem in that search. I'll see if I can close the keyboard. Nothing is responding. I'm going to turn off TalkBack.
TalkBack off. TalkBack on.
For some reason, TalkBack is not being responsive on my Galaxy S23 at this point, and so I've switched to my Pixel 4, for example, and I'm going to tap on that Ask Anything.
Ask anything.
There we go. I'm going to tap on Ask Anything.
Edit box. Ask anything. Showing English USQWERTY.
Brings up the keyboard. I'm going to hide the keyboard.
Keyboard hidden.
Hiding the keyboard now places me back on the screen, and at the bottom we have the following buttons starting from the bottom left.
File search button.
Going right,
Copilot stars.
right,
Pro.
and at the bottom right corner
Voice input button.
we have the voice input. I'll tap. How big is the UK?
Perplexity. Breakdown by count. Comparative size. United Kingdom Wikipedia. Link. The land area is about 242,495 square kilometers, 93,628 square miles.
Well, as you can see, it seems the voice input, I've run out of tokens for the voice input, so it's just showing me text. But therein lies the power of the Pixel. I don't know why it was crashing, that is, TalkBack was crashing on my Galaxy S23 Plus, but thanks to the power of the Pixel phone. Thanks for listening, and I hope you find Perplexity Assistant something that you would like to take advantage of. Thank you. That's that demo of the Perplexity Assistant. Guys, any comments? I know I was having some problems there for some reason because I was playing with it earlier on my Pixel 4. And then when I tried to demo it on the Samsung phone, for some reason, TalkBack wasn't behaving well there. And then for some reason, I think I ran out of the voice prompts to where the verbal voice, whatever, I had ran out, so it was giving me text responses instead even when I use a voice search.
Okay, here's the thing in this app. I was awake when you sent the demo. I listened to it and I went ahead and installed it. So the voice search is like voice-to-voice search. It's called voice-to-voice mode. And once you're there, it gives you only 5 credits to answer, like ask you questions in voice mode, and then
Exactly.
it's asking you to pay $20, like $20 for monthly. I liked its responsiveness, and it was quite fast answering, but it has a lot of accessibility issues here and there. If you want to start voice-to-voice conversation, you need to turn off TalkBack to press that button. Otherwise, it won't register your gesture for some reason.
I think that's on the Samsung device, or it wasn't doing that on my Pixel phone.
Yeah.
I noticed that problem is on the Samsung.
Maybe.
Like you see in my demo,
Yeah.
actually, TalkBack was just very non-responsive.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know. These guys put these things out, and like I always say, no one thinks about us. It's just a sad affair.
And they are using the 11 Labs voices. There are only 5 voices by now. You
Yeah.
cannot preview them. You can only choose what's the, like,
Yeah.
it says Mary, you're choosing Mary and go with it. You don't know until you try it. This is no good.
Yeah,
And
it's not
only
good.
5 credits for a voice query is like
You got-
crazy. I mean,
It's crazy. You got Mary, you got Mike, you got Alex, and I don't remember the other two, but yeah,
Kelly,
it's kinda-
maybe.
they want you to pay them if you want to enjoy everything about it. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us. Well, with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. John, though, is standing by, giving you information on how to get hold of us. John?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to blindandroidusers+subscribe@groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
Thank you so much for that information. And guys, again, next week it's going to be that party session. So you come in and let's just talk about whatever's on your mind. Talk about the new year, things you're expecting or looking forward to. Until that next week, from me, it's goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.